It's called the Golden Dome, and it's Trump's vision for the future of defense. Canada's considering participating, but how? Let's go to Walter Dorn, professor of defense studies at Royal Military College. Walter, thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be with you, Morel.
So this is ambitious, to say the least, and would involve sort of land and space assets meant to protect the U.S. It's not the first time this kind of defense system has been pitched. So what has been proposed in the past?
Well, going back to 1983, Ronald Reagan proposed the Strategic Defense Initiative, which was designed to put weapons in space and shoot down with lasers and other forms of weapons, incoming missiles. Then we have ballistic missile defense, and that was under George W. Bush. And they have mostly ground-based interceptors, but they did look at the space option. And now we have Donald Trump proposing that the weapons be placed in space above all of our heads, circling around the Earth. And presumably that he thinks that this will make America safer.
Israel has the Iron Dome. Donald Trump obviously wants to expand on that idea, but is it even feasible in your opinion?
In my technical opinion, it's not feasible. There are so many ways that adversaries could overcome this kind of iron, or call it U.S. protection dome. It's the landmass is so large, the possibilities for other countries to use decoys and to use more missiles, it will result in an arms race. And in fact, I think it will make America, Canada, and the world less safe.
Let's talk about investment as well, because Donald Trump is saying it'll take $175 billion to start. That's what he's allotting for it. Congress has said it'll take, basically 3 times that, $500 billion, something like that or more. What could Canada's part in this system even look like? And considering we're having trouble meeting our NATO commitment, do you think Canada could afford it?
Well, Trump says that Canada should pay its fair share, and Trump is always trying to get as much money from other countries as possible. And it would be a real shame, in my opinion, if Canadian taxpayer dollars went into U.S. defense contractors to produce what I think is an unworkable system. But I think that the U.S. is not only looking for dollars; they're also looking for Canadian territory. They want to be able to put more radars in Canada so they can see incoming missiles. They want to be able to shoot them down above our heads in Canada. And they want to integrate more of the NORAD capacity that Canada is already part of into this new Golden Dome idea.
Canada's already pledged a lot of money to boost Arctic defense. Do you see what the plan is as it stands, doing what's necessary to protect that front, or do we need to do more? Is something like a Golden Dome something that, practically speaking, would work better?
Oh, I don't think a Golden Dome would work better. I think we do need to protect our Arctic. We need to make sure that we have sovereignty over the Arctic, including against the country that's most violating our sovereignty, which is the United States. It sends ships through the Northwest Passage, doesn't recognize that Canada has sovereignty over the internal waters of the Northwest Passage. And this government has come into power on an election campaign that we would change the relationship with the United States, that we would distance ourselves. And by joining a Golden Dome, we would be joining ourselves with the United States, and with a really cockamamie plan that means that we're less safe, the United States is less safe, and the world is less safe, because there's going to be a lot of countries that are seeing an arms race and participating in an arms race, and we'll see weapons in space and potentially more debris, and may even ruin the low Earth orbit if these weapons are used and they're sending debris, even in testing.
So Russia and China issued a statement. They're calling this plan deeply destabilizing in nature. Do you agree that it is?
Yes, it's destabilizing because in order to maintain their strategic deterrence, those two countries would have to make sure that the U.S. can't use those weapons as offensive weapons, which they could be used, and also that with the United States having a larger shield, that they might actually decide to use a stronger sword. And so those countries would have to put in a huge amount of effort in order to overcome this. And it might mean putting weapons in space in order to defeat the weapons that Donald Trump wants to put in space. So yes, it's very destabilizing.
Walter Dorn, I've got to leave it there with you, sir, but appreciate your time. Walter's professor of defense studies, Royal Military College and Canadian Forces College.